9:42. Let's get unscrewed with Jason Bryant, finally back in the Kiwi studio after many, many weeks. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Wammo, and it's nice to be back.
Back from the UK?
Yeah, I did a quick, brief, pretty much 7-day visit to go to my best friend's funeral, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But along with that kind of low light, slash highlight, that I was able to go there, and fortunately Liz gave me my partner gave me the time off to go across.
That's nice.
Yeah, well, it is, because I mean sometimes it's pretty tough. We've got a dog. We just had an operation.
Yeah. The
same day Tony died, and also kind of got Maddie going to school, and so juggling that around, which ended up being about 2 weeks. So I'm thankful for that, and also my mates and my brother over in the UK who accommodated me kind of on their couches and in their kind of various beds. It just really said to me that I've got probably the best set of friends in the world.
Yeah, and you brought back some memorabilia with you.
I
as well.
have, and this is it shocked my parents and it shocked my brother that they thought, why? And why would they keep it? But it is I don't know whether people can see it, those who are watching.
Regular listeners would know that Jason Bryant is a fanatic about ice hockey, yeah?
And so that's my old team jersey with Bryant on the back.
Wow.
Still, and that's...
From what year?
I'm kind of picking 93, 94, retired there playing hockey in the UK, 96.
And the team still had the jersey stashed away?
Home and away jersey, yep. Still stashed away as probably cool. of the team. And also a little picture that this guy in the middle wearing the C, for those who can see it, he was our captain, and he was called Skinny Man, because he was tall and skinny. Yeah. So we're
but you don't look skinny wearing a
no, you don't.
ice hockey uniform, do you?
But he still looked skinny relative to everybody else. And his wife Nadine graciously kind of printed them off, and at the wake gave them to all the people. And then
that's cool.
A guy called Cole Blackmore Squires gave me the jerseys just before I came back. John Brabham put me up. Pat McCaffrey kind of. And all the teammates, Pat McCaffrey and Nigel, and we've got a real good heart of the team that still catch up every time I go back.
Wow, that's cool. There's still a bonding that goes through the sports team.
Yeah. Even though kind of, I think there are only 2 people playing now. This is going back in our teens. And there's still 2 people playing kind of like in their early 40s. Yeah. And there's still such a strong team connection, because we played together a lot and we did everything together pretty much. So and it runs through to this day, and kind of it was really evident on Tony's funeral. Kind of like some of the team carried him in into the church, and then the wake was unfortunately dry. So kind of we took his family, the team guys took his family up to the Red Lion Hotel and had a few drinks, and
was it one of those classic sort of English pubs?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. So it was a lovely but sad / happy trip, and then I got caught with the fog at the end, so I got delayed.
And what, Heathrow?
Heathrow, yeah. Swiss Air. I went Auckland, Bangkok, Zurich, London. Yeah. Slightly kind of
convoluted,
prolonged trip, but I was flying back that same route, and then fog came down just as my brother's dropping me at the airport. He said, I haven't seen many planes flying. I said, really? I said, oh, there's one just flying up. Oh, yeah. So he dropped me off, and I went through, and then everything was leaving on time, and then at 4:30, ding dong, cancel flight, and I went, oh, okay. So I went and queued up, and it took me 8 hours.
Oh, no.
To rebook my flight, and then I got to the hotel.
8 hours? That's a working day right there.
Yeah, just standing in a queue, and no communication. And this story gets worse and slightly funny. No communication. Waited. Eventually got to the front. They booked my flights, and so I was flying Air New Zealand via Los Angeles. And I've got to say, they're the best airline in the world to fly, right? And so then they check me into a hotel. Get to the hotel. They're struggling to find rooms. Yeah. They give me a key. Yeah. And I go in, open the door, walk through, and I think, Oh, that's strange. Some golf clubs here. Perhaps that's for everybody. Go through, and there's a couple on the bed doing things.
Oh, no.
And so I went back downstairs to the lobby, and he said, "Everything all right?" And I said, "Well, it would be if I wanted a threesome." and there's a queue of people who were still waiting, and so they all laughed.
What was it? Was it sort of you walk in, and then there's a couple on the bed, and what?
It was like
was there screaming? Was it what was? There was a
they were
horrific
quite surprised.
Kind of, yeah, obviously, yeah.
And then so I went back downstairs and got a new key, and unfortunately the next room kind of...
What's behind this door?
Yeah, it was like that. And I got there and then ordered some food and a beer. And
sounds like Fawlty Towers to me.
Oh, it was just absolutely comical. It just kind of like was the icing on the cake for what was a kind of sad trip, and then I get delayed, and then to add... a bit of kind of glossiness to it. It was.
But of course, you rushed back to do your civic duty this weekend. Yeah.
Well, to vote.
Mm.
Oh, I could have voted in New Zealand House.
Yeah.
Yeah, in London, in Haymarket.
But you're going to do.
I'm going to do it here. Yeah.
Did local school or hall or?
I think it's Greyland Community Centre where they usually hold the election, the ballot station.
My old school, because I'm back in the electorate where my old school is. They're not doing it for the first time, I think, in decades.
Why?
I noticed on the form it's just not there. I have to go somewhere else.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. And
have they reduced the amount of polling stations then? Have they?
Maybe.
Perhaps it's budget cuts.
Maybe.
But I mean, it's a voluntary.
Either that, or they didn't want it because the school down the road is doing it, and I don't think they used to do it. So maybe.
Right. Okay. So yeah.
But I'm a little bit sad because it's the only time I get to go to the old school hall and, do that every 3 years.
Reminisce.
Yeah, reminisce for a few minutes.
Exactly.
Oh well.
So I brought in a special wine today.
Yeah.
Coming back on topic, and I thought that we both deserved it. And then you tell me that you'd already partaken in a bit of Sauvignon
last night. That's all right.
But this one here, I'm not sure how close.
Yep, that's all good.
But, yep, it's Alluvale Blanc, and they make a red and a white. They also make a wine called Dada, which is a blended white as well. And so
where are they based?
They're in Hawke's Bay, and there's a little story behind the winemaker. He's called David Ramontou, and he's French, and his family have been making wine for 400 plus years.
Wow.
In the Jurançon region of France.
Mm.
And his domaine coapi, which is his dad's estate, were responsible for the resurgence and awareness of Jurançon as a wine region who make kind of a sweet wine.
Yeah.
From Petit Manseng and Petit Grain, Alexandre and stuff like that. And so really put Jurançon back on the map. And so now he's over here and he's married a Kiwi. And he's making wine here down in Hawke's Bay. And so this is Sauvignon 96% and a little bit of Semillon, which people might not be familiar with. But it's the grape that made the Hunter Valley famous. And also it is blended with a Sauvignon in Bordeaux as well, as white Bordeaux. So you tend to get kind of lemon curd, bit of guava, and some of those other characters. Also, it's fermented dry, so you get this really kind of steely mineral character at the end. Or you should do. But I haven't tasted it yet.
All right, let's get our noses in here.
And it's kept in a barrel for 14 months as well. So it's fermented in a barrel rather than in a steel tank.
Yeah.
So yeah, it tends to be a bit more rounded.
Would that make it a little bit more earthy, perhaps, as well?
It could do. It's kept on the lees, sur lee, which is kind of all of the yeast products and the particular matter that goes down to the bottom of the barrel, and so it's kept within those. And they're an antioxidant as well.
Would the barrel add anything?
It will take off all the sharp acid edges and should make it just a bit more round.
And it's not an oaking barrel, obviously.
No, it'd be old oak. So it's what they do in the kind of old world, and kind of like New Zealand started to do it really, really well, especially in Hawke's Bay. So it does remind me of lemon curd pie, lemon meringue on the nose. It's less aggressive, less pungent on the nose. Feels a bit more kind of layered on the nose.
I've had my sip, and well, that is lovely. But I can tell you what, I think taste some barrel in there, which I like. But I think it's really it does come through.
It's got a really nice tangy lemon character on the palate, and it is dry, but it doesn't necessarily feel dry. You get that really kind of generous fruit sweetness, and then you get that kind of mineral chalkiness at the back. For me, I think it's fantastic. 91 points.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's very good.
What price point?
I think it sits around the $25. So it's not the cheapest, but it's not the most expensive either.
Yeah.
The Dada sits at $50, and that's a different beast completely. But yeah, so that's Alluvale Blanc 2010.
Very nice.
And that's their current release. So yeah, so that's gonna. And there's only, I think, 900 cases made, 900 six-packs, so not even full cases. So
and so could be a good one as we're starting to think about Christmas.
Christmas, and I think it's will go really, really well, and paired really well with kind of the things that we love at Christmas, kind of crayfish and shellfish and all of those fish delights.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jason Bryant is at unscrewed.co.nz and Jason_Bryant on Twitter. We'll see you next week.